As a dungeon master, what's the deal with player reputation? And how does that fit into your campaign, the backstory, the narrative that you are creating with your players? Now, previously I pushed up to the channel here, we explored effective leveling up. This idea that as your character acquires experience and you level up, certainly you get new hit points, feats, various abilities, and unlocks. That's the excitement of D&D. But at the same time, you need to be making sure, we're just going to kind of frame this here. Certainly I go into it in greater detail in the vlog. You need to make sure your gear is keeping up with your character level. Having a +1 longsword at level 2 is pretty good. +1 longsword level 4, we should be looking to upgrade that. And then, of course, various connections, spending some gold or some resources or favors to have some connections to the Temple of Helm, or the Thieves Guild, the Fighters Guild, various factions and NPCs, whatever that's going to be. So within that framework, exploring this idea that the players are co-creators with the DM, and if it's done in such a way that they're not even aware of it, this leads to some very, very interesting plot hooks and ideas as the game continues. What about player reputation? So I had a player in a game that a little bit of luck, a little bit of daring, a little bit of reward, acquired an artifact. This was in D&D 3.5. So certain named magic items, very, very powerful. Multiple powers, multiple abilities, literally worth a small fortune. You could easily trade one for a small castle somewhere. Makes a Vorpal sword, looks like baby cakes. And they had acquired this artifact. Now, we were playing at a high enough level where it made sense. It wasn't just like they discovered this at 5th level. This was like level 16 or level 17. And as that happened, I used this as part of reputation. They have this artifact. They're utilizing it. Certain factions, certain powers, certain other aspects of the game start to take notice, not just on this plane, but perhaps other planes. And they start trying to go after the players to acquire this artifact. And it led to some interesting plot twists and some interesting side adventures. I won't say the player got to the point where they were like, look, let's just dump this artifact. Let's just sell it for a small island and retire, although they could have. Part of the fun was holding on to it and using it to develop those contacts. I use that and highlight that as an example of, as your players gain reputation, are there old friends showing up asking for help? Are there enemies long vanquished, because no one in D&D is ever truly vanquished, that have come back to confront the players or confront specific players for perceived wrongs? Are there kingdoms asking for help based on reputation? Utilizing as a DM at any level, as they get to level 3 and higher and start to develop a name for themselves and a name as a group, are there opportunities? What opportunities are there for acquiring reputation and using it as another adventure hook, using it as a toolkit for your Dungeons & Dragons D&D Dungeon Master DM toolkit?